Kyrie wants to party all the time, party all the time, party all the time. Welp, everything comes full circle. And Kyrie Irving has not been playing basketball. Now, the last time we spoke about Kyrie Irving said that he's going to be missing practices and games due to family matters. That's what he informed Nets management. And ever since then, Kyrie Irving has been just about everywhere. He attended a party with no mask. It was his sister's party, somebody in his family, somebody's party. Which that's neither here nor there. Who party it was for? And he was spotted on a Zoom call, not a Brooklyn's Net Zoom call, but just a Zoom call. Really doesn't matter what the Zoom call was about. The fact of the matter is, Kyrie Irving has not spoken to anyone in the Brooklyn Nets organization. The head coach has no idea when Kyrie Irving is going to return. The general manager has no idea when Kyrie Irving is going to return. The owner has no clue or no idea when Kyrie Irving is going to return. And Kyrie Irving is I shouldn't say starting a pattern. Kyrie Irving is continuing to have the same old pattern like he did back in Cleveland, like he did back in Boston, and he's a creature of habit of the same type of behavior. Kyrie Irving wants to do what Kyrie Irving wants to do. Now, last night I was listening to Bill Maher on Fox Sports 1 radio, and they suggested that there's a possibility where Kyrie Irving, after 3 or 4 years, the Brooklyn Nets owe Kyrie a lot of money on that contract. And there's a possibility, from their logic, that Kyrie Irving probably won't be playing basketball. Because, he's a different type of guy. Basketball is really not that important to Kyrie Irving. And if you look at how much Kyrie Irving made with just Boston and what he's going to be making with Brooklyn, he's going to be making a lot of major money. Now, I don't care who you are. I don't care what type of man you are and what type of work environment that you're doing. I don't care if you're flipping burgers or you're taking out people's trash or whatever you're doing. Okay? And this rules applies to all men. You have a responsibility to have a communication line with your employer. If you're not going to report to work, I don't care if you're the president of the United States, you're a basketball player, I don't care what field of work that you do. If you're not going to show up to do something, at least have the respect and the responsibility as a man to pick up the phone and call them, you're not reporting to work today. In a lot of cases, give them the earlier advancement you can give them as far as time, the better. But Kyrie Irving has not demonstrated that with Cleveland. He was missing games for Cleveland for personal reasons and family reasons. He was doing this with the Boston Celtics. That's why he was a head case and a head scratcher for Danny Ainge. And now he's doing it for the Brooklyn Nets. Now, the difference between the Brooklyn Nets and those other organizations no longer wanted to tolerate it. The Cleveland Cavaliers said, you know what? We can do bad without you. We'll trade you, or you can go wherever you want to go, but we can do simply bad without you. He went to Boston. He wanted to be his own man, right? He wanted to be like LBJ. He wanted to make decisions. Remember all the stuff Kyrie Irving was saying when he landed with the Boston Celtics? He wanted to have his own team. And the team was doing better when he wasn't on the roster. The team went deeper in the playoffs without Kyrie Irving than with Kyrie Irving. And Danny Ainge said, you know what, Kyrie, we can do better without you. And then now he pairs himself up with Kevin Durant, and now he's in Brooklyn. There's a different now with Brooklyn. They got KD, they got Kevin Durant. All right. They also got a great cast of players that were already on the Brooklyn Nets roster. You know, these same players that Kyrie Irving said 2 years ago, well, man, we're top heavy. I mean, well, we don't have enough players. But those players can play every day, every night with no problems. Even though the Brooklyn Nets, if you look at their standings, it's not favorable. Okay? And by the way, I'm pretty sure of this. The New York Knickerbockers are laughing their tails off about the recent reports surrounding Kyrie Irving. Wait, KD wanted him tied to him with the New York Knickerbockers? And even though a lot of people gave the New York Knickerbockers a lot of hell, saying, well, you know, man, y'all just didn't try hard enough. Kevin Durant is a great player. But even Kevin Durant has baggage. Even Kevin Durant is kind of sensitive. And when you want to put all your money in a basket with Kevin Durant, you also have to deal with Kevin Durant's baggage. And if it was just only Kevin Durant, I'm pretty sure the Knicks would try harder. But when he wanted Kyrie Irving, DeAndre Jordan to join him with the Knicks, they said, nah, fam, we can do bad without you. We can do bad without you. And that's why they chose Brooklyn. Because Brooklyn, they was in a situation where, in their logic, we have to say yes to everything. Yes, we'll give you top dollar, Kevin Durant. Yes, we will gladly accept your baggage. Yes, DeAndre Jordan, you want to sign? No problem. Kyrie Irving, you want Kyrie Irving? No problem. And I told you guys in a video, I believe, and I told you guys from the rip when this was constructed, that I felt like Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant are going to squander their talent with Brooklyn. They're not going to win diddly squat with Brooklyn. They're not going to win a title with Brooklyn. And when they wise up and grow up, then they're going to be older. They're going to be older players. Kevin Durant, he's not thinking it now, but the thought is creeping in the back of his mind, and eventually it's going to come to the front of his brain that, damn, I made a bad decision. I could have literally stayed with the Golden State Warriors. Even though we might not have been competitive to win a title, with me, Steph, and Draymond, we probably would still be in the playoffs. We'll probably still be in the playoffs. It's just me there. Wow, I could have just went to the New York Knickerbockers, been my own man, would have ran my own franchise. Yeah, we may not have been good enough to get advanced further in the playoffs, but we would have been in the playoffs. But this is what happens. And here's another thing. Today's player, everybody is into this. Let's pair up. Let's make super teams. Hey, you're good over there. I'm good over here. let's pair up. Everybody wants to be friendly. Competition is dead. None of these players really don't compete with other players at a high level. I'm not saying you have to hate your opponent, but you have to have enough emotion in you that you want to beat your opponent. And more times than not, a lot of these guys, when they play with one another, they don't want to beat their adversary. They want to pair up, become super teams, join hands, kumbaya. And look, that's the problem I had with LeBron James. He started this crap of people, even though he kind of stole the ideal from Boston with Kevin Durant and Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, he kind of borrowed that ideal. But just think about it, folks. If LeBron James never took his talents to South Beach, if he would have just stayed in Cleveland, he would probably never sniff the ring. Ever. His first ring was with the Miami Heat. He couldn't get people, as great as LeBron James was, he couldn't get people to join him in Cleveland. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, it's because of management, and it's Cleveland, Ohio. I mean, who wants to play in Cleveland? I can give you one good reason. LeBron James. He's supposed to be the greatest player on the planet. You guys compare him as the GOAT. I think he's the greatest player. He's a great player in this era. I don't compare eras, but I do say that LeBron James is great in this era. But he's so great, he can't get players to join him. If anything, players leave him. But LeBron James isn't the LeBron James that we know of today if he didn't take his talents to South Beach. He had to learn how to win, learn how to be a leader. What better place to get all that experience and that influence is by joining forces with Dwayne Wade and Pat Riley. They have a little idea of how to win, how to build dynasties, how to win championships, how to be better leaders. Because, let's face it, LeBron James wasn't a great leader. And a lot of people don't talk about this. He wasn't a great leader on his first stint with Cleveland. Yes, come with the excuses of he didn't have a great roster. He didn't have a great owner. He never had great coaches. But I thought talent was supposed to supersede all that. Anyway, people come with all these excuses, but people seem to forget when he was put in as a leader, the chosen one. Think of all the antics he was doing as a leader. Doing the pitcher pose with, kicking up, having fun, doing the pitcher pose, playing loud rap music. I mean, and I like rap music. Don't get it twisted or confused. But he never shown signs of being a leader. I mean, when everything is rolling great, he's cool with that. But when there's some turbulence down the road, when there's obstacles down the road, he falls flat. And in some cases, even his own owner said that he gave up on them when in the Boston series. I'm not even going to take it there. I wasn't even there. But I watched it on television, and I kind of felt that LeBron James could have done more. But he couldn't do more because he just did not have the right ingredients as far as being a leader. And when you say that, people immediately start apologists immediately just comment and say, oh, no, that's not true, and this, that, and the third. But here are facts. When LeBron was first in with Cleveland, he couldn't get them. He only got them to the finals once. And then LeBron James said, you know what? I need to go I can't get players to come join me. But at that time, he was the best basketball player on the planet. But nobody wanted to join him. All right? So he had to take his talents to South Beach. Wow. I just realized we've been talking about LeBron James. This is more like Kyrie Irving. But my thing is, LeBron James created this environment where players, even though players have always had influence with organizations, LeBron James with social media, now players can do their bidding with organizations, and organizations have to bend over backwards to please these players by any means necessary. James Harden, the Rockets organization bent over backwards for James Harden. They gave up their future for James Harden. They signed top level talent such as Dwight Howard and Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook, and they had to let those players go the next season. All because James Harden, they had to please James Harden. And if they didn't, he would threaten to leave the team. He will demand a trade, which that's what he's doing now, because even James Harden knows the Rockets organization have nothing at their they have nothing in front of them that they can use as leverage to get better players. And now he's threatened, and now he wants a trade. Have you seen James Harden in the past 4 or 5 games? Is he really trying? I don't think he's really trying. James Harden is not happy. He's not happy at all. But that's the bed that you made, James Harden. Just lay in it. All right? Lay in it. But I can go on and on and on and give you guys examples upon examples upon examples of people saying, well, if LeBron James can do it, damn it, I can do it as well. They had to put in new rules in place. Tampering. Because the NBA just found out that, NBA players tamper with other NBA players as far as getting them to join forces with them and create these quote-unquote super teams. They made the contracts. Now these guys are just, they made a contract so where you can still be traded to a team, but if you want to stockpile a team and have your own personal dream team like what LeBron James was doing, you're not going to be able to do that. You can probably you can get 4 of the 5 best players on the planet on one team, but then who else you're going to have on the team, because you just ran out of money. Okay, unless everybody takes a pay cut, and nobody wants to take a pay cut. All right, so, but this is what Kyrie Irving is. He's a baby of this new era of basketball. If you don't give me what I want, I'm just not going to show up. This is how pathetic the Brooklyn Nets are. The Brooklyn Nets are upset at Kyrie Irving, but they don't want to say it live on television or on the radio or even on social media. As of right now today, the Brooklyn Nets has released a statement, and they're basically putting blame on the NBA. Well, if the NBA wants, if they investigate and if they suspend Kyrie Irving, we'll have to respect their decision. But we want to hear from Kyrie Irving. This is how they're communicating with Kyrie Irving, through social media, through press release. I guarantee you they've been calling him, but Kyrie Irving's not picking up. I guarantee that they've been texting him, but Kyrie Irving's not reading the text or not even responding to the text. This is what happens when you create a world where if a player doesn't like his situation, he can take his ball and go home. He runs and ruins the organization. Because LeBron James says, hey, look, how come owners can dictate who could be on teams? How come coaches can dictate who could be on the team? How come personnel can dictate who could be on the team, but players can't? Because that's their job. That's like an owner saying, hey, how come players can play basketball? How come we can't join the team and play basketball? That's like a coach saying, hey, how come players can play basketball, but we can't play basketball? Because you're not a basketball player. You used to be at a time, but you can't play on this level. LeBron, you cannot be on this level. And that's what I'm talking about. Players should play, coaches should coach, owners should own. Everybody should just stay in their lanes. But now you created an environment where you allowing these players to do whatever they want to do. And that's the problem. And that's why I said, I don't think, and I'm the only one that's been saying this, and people are going to wise up. You guys are going to smarten up. You guys are going to put two and two together and realize it's four. That as the years go on, the window, that little window starts to close. And then it completely closed. And then you're going to look up and find out that Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant squandered their best prime years together. And what they got to show, diddly squat. Diddly squat. These two guys talking about, well, we don't need a coach. After they hired Steve Nash. That's why the Brooklyn Nets hired Steve Nash. They wasn't going to have nobody that's got coaching experience or experience with superstar players to coach. Ty Lue could have been a coach for the Brooklyn Nets, but they didn't want Ty Lue because Ty Lue demands respect in the huddle. He literally told LeBron James, shut the F up. I'm coaching this team. He literally, has already been in Kyrie's ear. Now he's making Kyrie play back-to-backs. No nights off. He got Kyrie. He did something that Doc Rivers could not do. He's got everybody playing the exact same way. Having the exact same circumstances. Sometimes it's not about the coach. It's really about leadership. Leadership is a lost talent in today's NBA because nobody wants to be the big man on charge. Nobody wants to make those tough and hard decisions. Everybody wants to be friends. Everybody wants to hold hands and sing Kumbaya and give everybody a participation award. That's what you have spawned from, from all this starting with LeBron James. Now, this new crop of NBA players, they're on a different wavelength than the older NBA players. These young cats, they're not just leaving money on the table. Their mentality is, I'm a player, and my play is going to dictate what type of future I'm going to have. Good for you. Same way as the coaches. I'm a coach. I'm going to allow my talent to dictate what type of future I'm going to have. All right? Same as owners, same as general managers, same as front office personnel. Everybody in this today's player, everybody is staying in their lanes like it's supposed to be. Staying in your lane. Why staying in your lane is difficult to do, or it's disrespectful. And that's what's going on with Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving's behavior is never going to change until there's a coach that's going to change his attitude, or someone in personnel, the front office, the general manager, the owner. Somebody can just get in, hey, look, Kyrie, hey, bud, I don't know what took place with Cleveland and Boston and Brooklyn, but we don't do that stuff here. Okay, either you come in and practice and play, or we're going to have to talk about exploring as far as trading you to somebody else. But that's the problem with Kyrie Irving. Pretty sure he's going to issue an apology statement. I'm pretty sure he's going to explain, well, this, that, and the third. And, here's another thing. With COVID, this disease is nothing to be played with. It's nothing to be played with. Dwayne Haskins lost his job because he went out on a party with no mask. That's just the ultimate sign of disrespect for society. Not for your football team or your team in general or for sports or anything like that, but for society. The mere fact that you can go to a party without a mask, that just shows a disrespect for society, particularly in the time that we're living in. And Kyrie Irving, you're being shown on video at a party with no mask. I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, he wore a mask early. He didn't wear a mask that time because it only takes a few seconds to get COVID or to spread COVID. But it is what it is. I already done told you what I feel about Kyrie Irving in numerous videos. I already done told you guys what I think was going to take place between Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving until they get someone there that's going to make those players accountable, or they grow up. You're going to get stuff like this. If it ain't Kyrie Irving, it's going to be Kevin Durant. If it's not Kevin Durant, it's going to be Kyrie Irving. Okay? It is what it is. I'm up out of here. Deuces.